Welcome to Brand Specified, the only podcast focused on helping manufacturers in the built environment grow sales through increased specification. Today, I would love to welcome Jeff Glotzl, and Jeff and I have a long history dating way back to the Girl Scout days, but Jeff is the creative talent behind Glotzl Creative Imaging. Jeff is our secret weapon. Tell us what you do.
So a lot of what I do is taking imagery, still images that have been photographed, people, places, products, and enhancing them, polishing them, removing distractions, highlighting features, removing defects, and that sort of thing. I also do a fair amount of illustrating of products directly in 3D, which is a lot like having a photo studio in your computer, and we can render products out that look completely photorealistic and then drop them into studio backgrounds or stock photography backgrounds so that, or blend them into existing photographs. Really, I work over and polish and enhance images all day long.
So Jeff Glotzl Creative Imaging is now located in Maine. How did that happen, Jeff? I kind of grew up with you here in Richmond in the ad world, and now you're in Maine.
So yeah, I'm originally from New York State and grew up in a really small town and thought I was going to be a carpenter. I love to build things and, went on a carpentry track and studied in high school and then worked for a master carpenter. And it was a really great time, but unfortunately, the carpenter that I was working for was not really interested in teaching me and bringing me up the rungs. And I kind of found myself looking for a career change and ended up going to photography school. So I went to the New England School of Photography in Boston, which is a trade school staffed by working professionals that take a day out of the week to teach. They actually just recently closed, but it was a really nice hybrid education between the School of Hard Knocks and formal education. So once I finished NESOP, I then started working as a photo assistant and ended up in Richmond. I took a full-time position in a studio in Richmond, working for a studio that did a lot of product work and a lot of food work. And then I kind of fell backwards into the post-production industry during that time. We got a copy of Photoshop at just the right time, and the rest is history. I just love that world, and instead of building things in the physical world, I build things on the computer now. It's really quite similar in a lot of ways. Building something on the computer is just like building something in the real world, but you just have different building blocks.
In the midst of the pandemic, you guys decided to up sticks and head to Maine. How did that happen?
That had been coming for quite some time, actually. We had been vacationing at different places in the summertime, and we had been looking for a while to move to a place that was more rural, but that had a good school district, good school system, and had fast internet, because I can work from anywhere. And so our vacations always revolved around making sure that I had a good internet connection, because my projects bleed into, days and weeks, and they don't always finish at the same time that I would hope that they would. And being a small business, you just have to kind of roll with that and take your work with you on vacation. So we ended up vacationing in Maine and found this really unicorn place that has a really good public school and has fast internet and is a rural community like we were looking for. And it just seemed like a good time. We'd actually been looking for 2 or 3 years prior to the pandemic, but really hadn't found the right area or the right house. And so it just turned out that we got an email, and the real estate agent that we had looking for us up here found a house that seemed to be a good fit. And I dropped what I was doing and drove all the way to Maine in 16 hours and took a look at the house, and we made a snap decision and moved our family.
Well, that's awesome. I love that. And Leslie has continued, Jeff's wife, Leslie has continued to be able to work and still doing a lot of interior design across the country. So it's really, I think you two represent what a lot of our manufacturers have had to adjust to, which is, the folks that they're marketing to are now all over the country. They're out of big cities and they now want to work and find out about new products and create new projects all virtually. And it's really been a big shift for the industry. And it's interesting to see both of you, a very unique couple, go through that because, Leslie now is going to have to, I'm imagining, still specify and find new products online as well as new clients. So it's really been a big shift for the industry.
Yeah, she travels quite a bit and does a lot of her consultations and meetings over Zoom, which has been a very positive change. That's one of the things that I think has really changed. The pandemic has really changed in a lot of ways. Is a lot of her meetings used to be in person, and a lot of them didn't need to be. And you spend a lot of time traveling across town, across the country to get to a meeting that you could have easily done from the comfort of your own home or your office or wherever you happen to be. She is on site when she needs to be on site, but by and large, with a lot of her clients, which are often, repeat customers, that is not necessary.
So tell me about, what is your role in the prepping and planning of photo shoots?
So I have a production background. I used to work in a commercial studio and worked as an assistant and worked as the darkroom person and prop stylist and used to build sets. So I have a lot of experience on the production side. And now I work primarily in the post-production side. But the planning, I feel, is one of the most vital parts of any successful photo shoot. Like, say you're going to be photographing on a location. It's really important to scout the location. Ideally, you would want to scout the location and just do a walkthrough with your phone, ahead of time, either to provide those images to the photographer or the team that's going to be coming in to capture stills or video or both. Or you would ideally want to walk through with the photographer or a producer or a location scout. Smaller productions, you probably just want to, grab the photographer and say, hey, can you come by for an hour? And that way they can know what they're getting themselves into and see what the scale is. And they're going to identify areas that are going to be ideal for photographing in or areas that you probably want to stay away from, things that could be cleaned up ahead of time. I'm always surprised at how much cleanup I end up doing on exterior images, things that could easily have been weed whacked or picked up. And I don't mind doing that stuff at all, but I feel like it would save everyone time and energy if, that sort of thing